Okay, guys, I'm curious about this video. Somebody sent it to me in the Discord, as usual, and it is the what happened to the SunnyV2 victims. I don't know if I'd necessarily call them victims, but you know what happened to those silly gooses? So I'm kind of curious. Let's see what we got here.
Over the last 3
It's from Internet Anarchist, by the way. So, you know.
years, SunnyV2 has built himself up to be seen as the Grim Reaper of the YouTube community.
Really? I feel like that's not true in any capacity. I feel like he just talks about stuff. I don't really know that anybody necessarily... I think he's easily, probably the most popular... What would you call him? Like, tier list? Not tier list. What am I saying? Oh my god. You get what I'm saying. In that sphere, whatever, this type of sphere that Internet Anarchist is in, he's the most popular in that sphere. I agree with that. But I don't think that it's as deep as... I don't think he ends channels. I don't think that what he has to say would end anybody's channel. He more just talks about stuff, but okay.
Single well-crafted SunnyV2 downfall documentary could quite literally end a YouTuber's career. But how accurate is that? Where are his victims today? And what happens when SunnyV2 misses the mark on said...
He hasn't ended anybody's career. Whose career has he ended? He like reports on other people's careers being ended.
Victims. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be reflecting on careers of creators that SunnyV2 covered in his downfall series, where their careers are today, and the most recent controversy Sunny has found himself in as a result of his video format. There's no better place to start than what is widely considered Sunny's first
Who the fuck is that guy?
attempt at documenting the decline of a creator, with his video titled The Horrifying Downfall of Only Use Me Blade.
Oh yeah, that guy's kind of a scumbag from what I remember.
Published on the 27th of April 2020. In the video, Sunny details the events that led a very promising Call of Duty content creator in early 2009.
Well, I mean, once you said he was playing Call of Duty, I mean, how, Call of Duty, dude? I feel like you can't be a Call of Duty YouTuber, or a content creator rather, without having some controversy attached to you. I mean, you're throwing out epic pro gamer words on the daily, so on them every minute.
To not only turn his fan base against him with his belligerent attitude, but to also squander every opportunity to redeem himself. At the start of his career, fans flocked to Blade's channel for his uniquely skilled playstyle in Call of Duty, who'd go through the match with a basic knife as his weapon and still come out on top.
I guess that's why his name is Only Use Me Blade. Okay, he's like a pirate. Only use me blade. It was a very cringe thing I just did.
Exceptional Call of Duty player in the beginning, being able to get high kill, impressive gameplays only using a knife.
During his discussion of Blade's path to success on YouTube, Sunny also took the time to examine the 2 key traits that caused Blade to lose everything: his immature nature, which was magnified by a drinking problem, and his inability to adapt or improve his content. From 2000,
I feel like people probably gravitated towards his immature nature, no? They're probably like, oh, I love that he's immature. And it's probably just the other thing he didn't adapt. But as you get older, it's harder to be immature. That's one of the things. It's almost like pranking YouTube kind of the thing. As you get older, like you can't be fucking 30-something years old still doing pranks on YouTube. It's immature content for fucking kids, right? The same thing I feel like with some gaming. You could still do gaming content, obviously, but you have to bring more maturity to it. I don't watch the guy, but what's that one guy's name? Why can't I remember? I know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name. With the mustache. He's pretty entertaining. He seems to have matured well and maintained his content. Who am I talking about? You know who I'm talking. Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, he seems to have like matured. People still engage with his stuff. So
2009 to 2015, Blade used the same video format for 6 Call of Duty entries and hardly other games. This causes viewership and engagement to first stagnate and then decline. The only novelty that Blade presented to
he just needed to play Fortnite. That's what
his audience was in the form of drunk streaming, which only made things worse. Blade was a completely different person while drunk. He would frequently use racial slurs.
Whoa! Oh my god.
Assaulting or antagonizing other creators he streamed with.
This is Brittany Venti? Oh wow. Or it's just the credit thing. Shit, he's fighting. He's giving him kisses.
And abuse animals in some of the cruelest ways imaginable.
Did he just throw the dog? Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Naturally, this type of behavior bred a never-ending stream of controversy around his career. He got flamed for...
Yeah, I mean, you could hit a person, but if you hit an animal, people will go fucking crazy, man. It's wild, you know? It's crazy. I personally think we should just eat dogs. I think we should just fucking eat them, bro. I don't care. You know what I mean? Well, eat cows, you know? It's just like it's a cultural thing. Eat dogs. I don't care.
Kissing a fan's wife on stream, allegedly assaulted an unconscious girl during a road trip, and got banned on Twitch for nudity. As the vicious cycle of drinking controversy...
Hey, typical titty streamer, am I right?
...continued, Blade's life slowly fell apart piece by piece. He lost the respect from his audience, along with his YouTube channel being terminated, turned longtime friends like Keemstar into enemies, and severely harmed his health. Sunny would end the video with a message for Blade, advising him to turn his life around before...
the messages at the end of SunnyV2 videos are always so fucking stupid. They're like Internet of Jay's ends too. I forgot about Internet of Jay has this ending to his videos too. We're fucking dumb. They're so silly. Oh man. Oh man, what happened? Internet of Jay left, right? Damn. Where's our king when we need him? Has he made anything else lately, or he just kind of quit? Internet of Jay. Damn, he just fucking left 3 months ago, brother. What is this? The Fall of Boogie. 55 minutes ago.
Okay, do you think they'll...
That's not an Internet J video. It's a June the King video. Kind of curious about it. Put that on the list. Let's continue.
Or it was too late.
If he doesn't make a change, he's going to be dead soon.
So Blade, I doubt you're watching this, man, but one final thing before we finish this video. You need to find a purpose, man. That's how addiction stops. Addiction doesn't stop by one day just deciding that you're going to stop. It stops by having a bigger reason or purpose or why for why you are going to actually stop.
I mean, that is the religious approach, is like, oh, you should stop because God. Is literally, and it's one of the reasons why people don't quit to the degree that they do. Your best thing to really do is to see a therapist and explore why you're engaging in the behavior in the first place so you can acknowledge it and work for it. The higher purpose can work too, but most people who engage in that type of like change when it comes to their addictions, it doesn't really stick. So yeah.
Once you have that purpose or goal in place, your desire to drink will just be lessened. And look, I know 36 is a pretty late age to decide to grow up, but it's not too late. If you want all the issues to stop, you need to decide today, not tomorrow, not next week, that you are going to grow up. Find a purpose, become an adult, and you will naturally just no longer be that person.
Who does this resonate with? Who's sitting there like, yes, SunnyV2, you're such a smart, probably like fucking little kids that are dumb as shit and don't know anything.
Who wants to sit in front of their screen and drink alcohol for money. You can do this, man. I believe in you, Blade. I know I've just spent like 20 minutes taking a shit on you, but I do want you to win, dude. Seeing other people win is awesome, man, and you can. You just have to find a purpose and become an adult. That's your 2 steps.
I want you to win,
did Blade make the logical move to stop drinking and better his life? Well, the simple answer is no. By the 18th of July 2021, following a failed attempt to get sober and multiple bans on YouTube, Blade decided to ask his wife, Becky, to create a channel in a name called OUMB2 so that he could continue his questionable streams. The content wasn't great, but it was good enough to net the couple 15,000 subscribers. As his drunk streaming and RV trips went on, Blade's personality would get worse, often getting into fights with his wife, and his body slowly falling apart from years of binge drinking. Recently, Blade has tried to get back into streaming Call of Duty, but he claimed he was unable to enjoy the game whilst sober. After all these years, Blade still retained his immature personality. In his mind, Blade sees himself as just another youngster trying to have fun knocking back a few beers on the stream, but to everyone watching, he's just a 40-year-old man who refuses to grow up. However, our next creator didn't end up on Sunny's radar because they stuck to an outdated persona, because they seem...
It's Belle Delphine who would just kind of come back and forth, disappear, come back and forth, right? Every once in a while. That's all it really boiled down to. Dude, where's my phone? Give me like a second. I lost my phone. Sorry, my phone, the alarm was going off in the other room, I bet.
Lost the appeal of the persona that was actually working for them. Sunny's video on Bella Delphine had a noticeably different tone compared to the other downfall videos on his channel. Published on the 5th of November 2021 with title Why Bella Delphine's Career is Dead, Sunny presented the argument that without mystery and intrigue, Bella would no longer be able to attract the same level of virality that she once did.
Belle Delphine removed 2 core components from her content that have been keeping her persona interesting.
I don't know, brother. I see her core components every once in a while. She didn't remove them. They're looking just fine. Okay.
Mystery and intrigue. Belle Delphine discussed on the H3 podcast that one of her main strategies for standing out as unique was that she'd mix her cutesy image with the strangest, most unrelated topics to build curiosity around her character.
There are good reasons to think this way, since Bella was easily able to keep the entire internet wrapped around her finger, with stunts like her $30 bathwater and clickbait P-Hub titles. Even if she disappeared for months at a time, Bella was still able to reignite interest in her content. Her infamous I'm Back video posted on the 17th of June 2021 racked up an astonishing.
That video is so weird. I watched it like 4 or 5 times just for study, just for like studying purposes, you know, because I'm a content creator. I have to make sure I know everything. I need to know all the details about that video. That was a weird, you know what I mean? I watched it probably a few times. It's called research, guys. You know, grow up.
Astonishing 50 million views, proving fans were more than willing to wait for new Bella Delphine content. However, once fans got their hands on Bella's adult content, and many of the lingering questions were answered in her many podcast appearances, there wasn't many reasons to keep people coming back.
As mentioned earlier,
I mean, I'm pretty sure her OnlyFans is like pretty big. I don't know what you're talking about.
In the video during her first hiatus, there was still so much mystery, so many unanswered questions surrounding the Belle Delphine story, and therefore her return was anticipated. Was the arrest story fake? How did this character come about? Did she have a boyfriend? How does this persona affect her personal life? People actually wanted to know more. 8 million people objectively wanted an exact update on what she was up to. However, this time around, all of the questions that kept the story interesting have been answered. She went on numerous podcasts over a 2-month period, explained her strategy around everything, then posted her highly anticipated adult content, and as a result, the story feels concluded. There's nothing else to look forward to, and therefore there's no reason to care.
I mean, if you want to jack off to her, you're probably going to continuously look at her content to jack off to her, so
what she's up to. Videos investigating what happened to Belle Delphine on her current hiatus have gained less than 10% of the views compared to those posing a similar question on
who cares?
Her previous break.
Who cares? The way that he values information is so bizarre. Your whole argument is like, well, she's not as big on YouTube, so she's a failure. SunnyV2, he's just like so fucking brain dead. He's terminally online. That's why he does so well on YouTube. The things that he says are just so dumb. Like, between every one of his takes has some weird, dumb advice to it. Almost always. It's just so weird.
She revealed everything in exchange for a surge in short-term revenue. However, the long-term consequences are already starting to reveal themselves.
Okay, thanks.
Fast forward to today, and the consequences Sunny spoke of were there, but not as drastic as you might think. Bella's subsequent videos on YouTube only got a fraction of the views compared to her first,
really
but
YouTuber.
Also could be a product of her extremely inconsistent uploads, only posting once or twice per year. Taking a look at other aspects of her career where she is consistent tells a different story. Engagement on her social media accounts has remained consistent from 2022 to 2023, averaging around 50k likes on Twitter and 300k likes on Instagram. And as you would expect, Bella's OnlyFans is still very much active, with almost daily updates.
Yeah.
Bella had
I'll have to take a look at that after the stream.
lost her meme status, but it was obvious she didn't lose her core fan base. There was an eternal army of Sims that would continue to subscribe to her OnlyFans and like all her social media posts.
Listen, here's my thing. Here's my thing, honestly. I don't think that the only people subscribing to Belle Delphine's content are simps, like OF content are simps. I feel like some of them are just horny dudes. Like, some dudes are just taking a look. I mean, I really don't subscribe to her shit. She's not really my type. I like fucking fat, hairy women, but, you know, I'm just saying, it's just weird.
Even though the initial buzz around her brand had faded, Bella still managed to build a very large and monetizable platform. Sunny underestimated just how many people still wanted to engage with Bella, and this wasn't the only—
I don't even think he cares. I don't think that there's any like thought behind those eyes. I think it's just sensationalized for the content. So, oh, this person's fucked forever. They're tired. They're gonna lose their platform because of this. And then he makes a video and it's intentionally sensationalized and like stupid.
Time Sunny underestimated the power of a creator's fan base. On the 28th of July 2022, Sunny published the video "Morg's Career is Completely Dead, What Happened?", wherein he told the story of Morg's rise to notoriety, the many controversies, and the reason for the decline in viewership.
Morg's YouTube channel is pretty much dead with an average of—
It's probably because he posts less because he's like moved on in life, and SunnyV2 is like, nah, the guy's a loser now. Because a lot of it is people just deciding to shift their focus, and they're still like really successful. And SunnyV2 sets this idea that they're failed, but people go up and down all the time. It is what it is. It's the nature of the platform.
Of only 5 million views per month, and the first reason for the death of his channel is simply
That's
that
dead.
his audience
That
got
is
older.
fucking dead,
Back in
dude.
2019,
It's
when Morg
dead.
was gaining an average of 100 million views per month, it was accepted as commonplace on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter that Morg's audience was made up primarily of children. Now, it's hardly surprising that this ended up being the case, as when Morgs first began his channel back in 2014, he was a 13-year-old child himself.
Sunny started with an overview of Morgs' early career, creating challenging gaming content on YouTube at the age of 13. In the video, Sunny cited Morg's decision to drop out of school to do YouTube at 15 as the
What a dumb idea. What a fucking idiot. Did he not have parents that were like, you shouldn't do this?
primary reason for becoming a target of the commentary community. Combining that with the
battled his
fact that
mom?
people saw him as a
Crazy.
loud and obnoxious kid, making content for other kids, made him an ideal punching bag for the entire YouTube commentary scene. You could say he was not just a victim of Sunny, but the entire commentary side of YouTube. Fortunately for Morgs, it wasn't all bad, as the majority of his videos had grown from 1,000 views to gaining over 1 million views each. Clickbait and heat from commentary channels didn't hinder his career, but in fact fueled his success.
Yeah, probably just going to keep pushing him upwards. I mean, it just keeps him in the public eye. You know, getting negative attention isn't necessarily a bad thing. Depends on the kind of negative attention.
On YouTube, eventually going from 1 million subscribers to 10 million subscribers. However, with success came more drama, as he engaged in numerous Twitter beefs with Mr. Beast over accusations of copying and fake content. Morgs also seemed to grow more discontent with YouTube as time went on. He felt like his old style of faking content wasn't good enough anymore, and by 2021, Morgs would publish a video titled "I'm leaving YouTube" in pursuit of a more authentic self.
Now,
Oh, well, there you go. Like I said, he probably wanted to just move on. Most people do when they, especially if you're starting as like a kid. If you go, once you go through that pretty big evolution, I could imagine, especially if you're already fucking rich, what's the point, you know?
I've got 11 million subscribers and everything. I guess now I'm at a point in my YouTube career where I'm just kind of done with the bullshit. Like, you know, I just want to be myself again.
The fact that his monthly viewership dropped to only 17 million views per month from an all-time high of 100 million views a month didn't speak well for the future of his career if he continued to make such drastic changes. Sunny would close out the video with the assertion that Morg's fanbase wouldn't be interested in this new side of him, and that his reputation as an annoying guy who made videos
Some might be. I think that in general, when you become an adult, you're like, if your content is mostly young people, and then you mature your content as you mature, you're not going to keep one-to-one each follower, because older people don't have as much time to engage with social media. So obviously you're going to just naturally have less people watching. It's the same thing as a relationship too. It's not just that. It's also people will grow apart most of the time. That's why relationships that start in high school will usually fail, because people grow in different directions. So just because he would reduce down from this much to this much doesn't mean it's a failure. He was able to maintain some kind of an audience capture and like hit reasonable expectations. You know, raw numbers don't need, like, lowered raw numbers doesn't necessarily mean failure. You know, people just have to have more reasonable expectations with shit.
videos for kids was the only thing keeping him relevant.
Maybe Morgs overestimated how interested his previously young audience would be in his new genuine persona. The other problem with adopting this new genuine persona was that suddenly there was no reason for the commentary community to talk about him anymore. He kind of lost his meme status. So much of his growth had come from people simply discussing how bad he was, and therefore, as Morgs got rid of his cringy personality, people got rid of their videos talking about it. All of this led Morgs' viewership to fall further to around 10 million per month.
Oh, that's it. Damn, what a tragedy. He probably doesn't like that. He's already rich. He probably was like, yeah, I'll take a pretty big view reduction and not getting annoying people to cover like every little cringe thing that I do because it's obnoxious. Sounds like a success.
While Morg's subscriber count would stagnate, followed by its first sign of a decline in early 2022. The decreased viewership and subscriber count seemed to lead to a decline in motivation as Morgs began to upload every 1 or 2 months, resulting in a further viewership decline to around 5 million per month, where it remains to this day.
This sentiment was shared by almost everyone on the platform, as creators were uploading videos claiming that Morg's career was now over. But is that actually what happened? Did Morgs really fade into the background after he decided to switch his style of content?
Maybe he just started doing what Rice Gum did and just started selling like doing OnlyFans management or whatever bullshit he does.
To that question, we need to fast forward to 2022, the year Moggs turned his career around. On the 6th of November 2022, Moggs took a bold new direction with his career and published his first shorts video. Moggs' short-form videos would mostly consist of him and his parents pranking one another. His shorts content would prove to be massively successful, garnering over 10 million views on each video. His strategy of taking on various internet challenges, prank videos, and vlog-style videos with his energetic personality in a 1-minute format has really worked wonders. By April of 20...
Yeah, it sounds like he just wanted a shift. Maybe he just enjoys shorts more. It'd probably still bring him some money. It's usually like it's a different level of effort and you still get a lot of like views. And if he's selling something or he's getting sponsorships, he's doing pretty well anyway. Like, cool, good for him, man.
23, Moggs would shatter his previous viewership records with 120 million monthly views alongside 300,000 new subscribers. He still uploads long-form content, although infrequently. You'd think getting dogpiled on by every commentary channel on YouTube and labeled a Mr. Beast clone would end his career, but it simply was a low point. His completely bounced...
Have any care for like child commentary community channels? Complain about dumb shit, so I wouldn't think anything of it.
Back, and now has a renewed sense of motivation for YouTube. This time, Sunny and numerous other content creators who wrote Moggs off as a washed-up kids entertainer were proven wrong by his sheer dedication and love for creating content. Change is something that is ubiquitous in a content creator, but what happens when that change in persona, demeanor, or presentation is documented in a way that completely...
This one is fucking hilarious, dude. The Chris one was the funniest one because it was just so out of touch and stupid, and it made it seem like Chris transitioning was some kind of a fucking stunt. It was just such a dumb, childish thing. I really, because Sunny's not going anywhere and he's still going to be successful, and not responding to the criticism was probably the right way to go. But at the same time, I think that this moment in SunnyV2's career was the moment where people felt really comfortable criticizing SunnyV2 at like an increased rate. There's always for every content creator, especially like, and depending on who they are, there's a aura around that person that will reduce people's willingness to criticize them until it hits a certain point and like that bubble bursts. And for him, I think that was his bubble burst. So now I think that, he's still successful. Most people who watch Sunny are just watching it for like, like a 10 20 minute pretty solid put together video. But I think after that, people are more like critical of him. They're more willing to like make fun of him or joke about him. He's still fucking living lavish, so it doesn't matter. But
divides the internet. On the 13th of April 2023, Sunny published a video with a striking title that read, "Why Chris Will Soon Become a Nightmare for Mr. Beast." Unbeknownst to Sunny and the first few thousand viewers, this video would become one of his most polarizing uploads yet. Sunny spent the first portion of the video looking over Chris's recent move to take on a more feminine appearance and assessing the controversy that followed those changes. Topics like Chris's decision to paint his nails, grow his hair out, and the later use of HRT were discussed along with drawing parallels to other aspects of his life. According to Sunny, the catalyst for Chris's new feminine appearance were events that revolved around Chris's recent divorce, citing the disappearance of family photos on Chris's Instagram.
That's just dumb to even say. I imagine that Chris transitioning to a woman probably put a strainer on their relationship, because you don't have to stay with, like, if you date somebody and then they are trans and they start to transition, you don't have to stay with them. That's perfectly understandable. If you marry a man and then they transition to a woman, like, you don't have to stay with that person. And so it's going to change the dynamics of the relationship. We don't even know that she probably doesn't even hate her ex-husband, partner, whatever. Probably it's just they grew in a different direction, So, hey, how you doing, man? You're from Israel. It's really scary to see how horrible it is. I feel that, brother. I hope that you're doing all right. I hope that you're doing okay over there. Stay safe.
Instagram, and the removal of his wedding ring as a possible contributing factor. He also noted Mr. Beast fans sharing their opinion on the subject with comments like, "There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Man.
Weak man times." The second half of the video focused on talking about the possible outcomes of Chris's continued presence as part of the Mr. Beast brand.
However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place. Perhaps the opposite will happen.
I think that just fucking annoying morons that are transphobic and can't deal with the existence of a trans person might tune out, but I think most people, even I would argue most conservatives, are mature enough to look at that and just go like, maybe I'm uncomfortable with it, but I don't really care. So the only thing that would cause a problem with Mr. Beast's content with Chris involved is if they made the content about Chris being trans. But Chris just being trans is not going to have a negative impact on the content. It's not going to matter. Nobody really cares.
And he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current Mr. Beast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the video.
Sunny's video on Chris would go on to gain over 8 million views, becoming one of his most popular uploads, but it was also the most disliked. The video had 317,000 likes compared to 229,000 dislikes. Not long after the video went live, Sunny would lose 10,000 subscribers, and numerous other content creators expressed their dissatisfaction online, and D'Angelo Wallace returned from a 9-month hiatus to make a video about the drama.
Somebody has uploaded a
I mean, okay.
YouTube video that is
D'Angelo Wallace. I found that there's something interesting about that because, again, I don't know, maybe it's just like a stupid thought, but D'Angelo Wallace disappeared for a long time for mental health, and I get it, and then came back right when Andrew Tate was on his decline to talk shit about Andrew Tate. And again, Andrew Tate's dog shit, but it's just interesting that when people were like really in there talking about it, when like that social conversation was much more necessary, he was, D'Angelo Wallace wasn't there, but all of a sudden they come back and get the fucking, let me talk about this and that, like, you know, it's just like, okay, it's really just gratuitous. I don't think there's any benefit to it anymore, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'm just too, what's the word, callous, whatever.
is so dumb, so completely incorrect that they have basically assembled the YouTube Avengers. How does someone anger the internet's nicest people like Jacksepticeye and Mr. Beast, make a bunch of other creators you've probably heard of drop response videos, and make points that are so completely invalid? I, of all people, come back early from a 9-month break just to personally tell you that your video is trash.
Things got so heated that Mr. Beast himself had to make a statement on the matter. Yeah, this is getting absurd. Baby. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my freaking friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. The three main criticisms
he's gonna go goblin mode
raised against Sunny in his latest video were that he had twisted events, cherry-picked comments, and was generally transphobic. With that being said, there were people who saw nothing wrong with Sunny's video and claimed that he was only stating facts. By the 3rd of May 2023, a user by the name of Pinely would upload a
transphobia is purely feelings based, okay? Shut the fuck up.
Half-hour video titled How SunnyV2 Ruined Video Essays that put forward the idea that narratives Sunny outlines in his videos are forced to conform to the title and thumbnails he picks out.
I don't think that SunnyV2 says what he says at the end of that video in a sort of attempt to figure out the universe. I don't believe that SunnyV2 really cares about that, at least in the context of his videos. I don't know him in real life. This all comes down to what we talked about at the beginning, that Sunny's videos are mainly an afterthought to his title and thumbnail. That's why he gives about like 5 or 6.
I guess. I don't know what that means. I just feel like, as annoying as SunnyV2 is, he has a topic and then he titles it and makes a like, I don't know. This point doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it.
His title and thumbnail. That Sunny's videos are mainly an afterthought to his title and thumbnail.
I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. Like, is the argument that he I don't get it. I don't really get what that means, because to me, Sunny probably looks at something and goes, I want to make a video on this, and then makes a video on it and probably throws together some extra bullshit to make a video out of it. So okay.
That's why he gives about like 5 or 6 different possible reasons as to why Kwebbelkop lost his viewership. And the one that makes the least sense, the one that is the most odd and out of place, is also the one that he put in his thumbnail. He created this narrative of a man losing everything because he boasted about his wealth, because it's interesting, because it's good content. And
yeah, it's sensationalized content. Everybody does that. Like, you shouldn't, but yeah, okay. Like, cool.
And I think that that's the actual dangerous thing here. Twisting human life so it fits the narrative of something like a TV show. It's essentially what he did with Chris, Mr. Beast, or Dream. He puts
I know Mr. Beast obsesses over titles and thumbnails too. Yeah, I remember him saying, I think he said something along the lines of, I watched his interview with Lex Friedman a while ago. Something along the lines of, Mr. Beast will, if he doesn't feel like he makes the title and thumbnail first, I think, before he even does a particular thing to make sure that he thinks it'll pop. Something along those lines. So
everything into a clear narrative for us to follow, a
like
distinct black and white sort of situation, a good deed and a bad deed. And I feel like when you alter and twist reality in that way, you end up losing a lot of very important things that I really appreciate in a lot of these sort of videos. You end up losing empathy.
In the process of covering the controversy, Sunny found himself directly involved within it, and everyone had something to say about it. While it wasn't the first time Sunny received negative feedback because of videos, it was certainly the most notable. You'd think that after all the hate Sunny had gotten for his unpopular take, he would either make a response or quietly take a break from uploading in fear of more backlash.
No, I mean, he could have, but I mean, the way that he operated was smart, bro, honestly. Whether you like him or not, is he had a shit take, in my opinion, obviously, and then he just kept making content. He just kept moving as if nothing happened. I mean, that's probably half a cancellation is getting criticism, and he just decided, like, okay, I got criticism, I don't care, and he just kept moving forward, and that's it. It's honestly smart. So yeah, whatever, he did his thing.
But that wasn't the case. In fact, he published a video on Guava Juice's career just 2 weeks later. So what's going on here? Sunny was being swamped in negative press and some of the largest creators were joining in on it, yet he was still going on as if it never happened. His comment section didn't show signs of the drama that had took place only a few days prior. Some would speculate that since Sunny had researched the cancellation of so many creators, he'd developed his own strategy of not getting cancelled himself. He'd simply ignore it and go about his usual uploads.
Not that complicated. SunnyV2 isn't a person; he's an entity, right? So it's easy. It's also easier for like entities to move forward as well, because he doesn't have that personal dynamic aspect. People don't really like SunnyV2; they like his videos. Whereas there's other people, and I think it's more like streamers who like the person more than they like the videos. But and that's not a criticism of SunnyV2. I mean, it's not like this huge hot take, and a big part of it is just don't respond to criticism. Like, yeah, you'll probably have. It's probably good for you in a lot of instances to not respond to you don't have to respond to criticism, or at least not all of it. So
this is what he did when he was called out for his Ninja, Dream, and Skeppy videos, and it's very likely he'll continue with that strategy.
Sure.
There are times when Sunny does respond to controversy, although in subtle ways, like changing the title of this video on Chris from "Why Chris Will Soon Become a Nightmare for Mr. Beast" to "How Will the Chris Tyson Situation Impact Mr. Beast?"
Shit,
it is
smart
unclear
guy.
if Sunny will make a response video to the drama or publicly acknowledge it like many other creators do when faced with a controversial situation. But based on his recent YouTube stats, it seems that Sunny has fully recovered from his dip in subscribers following the video on Chris, and has even shown remarkable growth. Does it make Sunny uncontrollable? Who knows? What we do know is that Sunny's approach to handling drama doesn't involve submitting to it, but rather quietly moving away from it.
Jacking off to it. All right, cool video, man. I guess sure I agree. Something cool. Cool beans.